Hi, I'm Laura Lawton with Lawton Printing Services. Welcome to Candidate Confidential. We're happy to have you join us. We're happy to join Spokane Talks online for this important civic service. The Lawton team has been serving the Inland Northwest for over 77 years. What keeps us motivated is the continuous evolution of our company to better serve the clients we work with every day. We are also fortunate to have so many people willing to step up to serve our communities. Being a candidate and civil servant is too often a thankless job. I know you join me in thanking these forward-thinking individuals for their dedication to us all. With that, I thank you for taking the time to learn more about the people who want to lead our communities. Enjoy the debate and give Lawton a call for any of your marketing, printing, or mailing needs. Thank you.
Welcome on behalf of Spokane Talks Online. Welcome to Candidate Confidential. And I'm pleased to be joined by the two candidates for position 5 for the Spokane Valley City Council, Pam Haley on our left and Angie Beam on our right. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Well, great. We're going to get right into the issues right after this commercial break.
Proposition 2 is not about politics. It's about protecting Spokane's economy.
I'm opposed to Proposition 2.
I'm opposed to Prop 2.
I'm opposed to Proposition 2.
Proposition 2 just doesn't make sense.
I am opposing Proposition 2.
I'm against Proposition 2.
I'm opposed to Proposition 2.
I'm opposed to Prop 2 because we have to protect Spokane's economy.
All right, we're back, and we're going to get right into this. Pam, we'll start with you. We'll start with law enforcement and crime, and as running for position of City Council number 5, Spokane Valley. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that it's a big issue I think for everybody, not just the city of Spokane Valley. Sheriffs and police officers, it's hard to recruit them. They don't have the same community support that they used to have. They really feel like they're sitting targets. Property crime's on the rise. Our jails aren't big enough to hold the number of people that they want to put there. Not sure that that's necessarily the best way to cure the problem is to jail them in all cases, but I think recruiting and retaining officers is very difficult. We are hoping to be able to we do have some surplus in our budget this year, and we're hoping to take some of that surplus and to possibly offer sign-on bonuses or retention bonuses. Because it's a union negotiated cost, we can't change their pay. We can't, unless they ask for it, we can't give it to them.
And you have a fixed contract, right? For
we
the next
do,
5 years.
Correct. Yes,
right.
We do. We just signed a new contract.
Okay.
And it was a good contract, but I still think that with the way things are now, we're going to have to come up with some creative solutions to getting more police officers here. We don't even have enough deputies in the city of Spokane Valley right now. There's openings, and we can't find anybody to fill them. And one of the unusual things that I had not thought of when we legalized marijuana is that a lot of the candidates don't pass the drug test.
Yeah, sure.
It's still federally illegal. And so in order to hold a job in law enforcement, you have to go through the drug test. So that's been an issue.
So you have a smaller labor pool.
Very much so, yes. I think when I was talking to the sheriff, he was saying that there used to be 300 applicants for a couple of jobs, and of those, half would be legit. Now if he has 3 jobs, he might get 20 applicants, and maybe one of those will actually make it through all the checkpoints.
Okay, so one of your big issues then is just recruitment of officers,
Correct.
maybe using some of the surplus money and bonuses or things like that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We did give them another car because we found that one of the recruitment things that seems to work is letting the officer take the car home.
Okay.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to get them so that they can offer that to all their officers, and tried to make their headquarters a little bit nicer. We put new carpeting in and a few other things just to
like
try
that.
to
Sure.
make it,
Yeah.
just
it all
little
helps.
perks. It does help.
Great. Angie, what do you think of that? Do you agree with that?
I agree with quite a bit of what she said, actually. I do have one question as far as the bonuses. Whenever you get a sign-on bonus, that gets them there, but how do you keep them there? That's my biggest concern.
So to retain them year after year.
Right. So maybe there would have to be like an extra agreement signed or something like that says you have to stay here for 2 years if you take this bonus or something like that. But she's right. Whenever I spoke to Chief Werner, one of his biggest concerns was recruitment. He informed me that they were already working 10 positions down, and that I think he said, I think it was 30 officers were eligible for retirement as of July of this year. That doesn't mean they retired. It means that they're eligible. So also one of the biggest problems he has with recruitment is the lateral transfers to the city of Spokane, because they can get more pay for the same job in the actual city of Spokane than they can out here. So that was an issue. As far as crime and stuff, he said that drug addiction is probably key to everything else. In other words, they're all connected. If we could he wants long-term solutions for drug addiction so that it's not a revolving door in the jail, that we actually take some active roles in trying to fight drug addiction.
You have some thoughts on that, what you would do?
All I can think of is having somebody come in, offering help. It's all psychological. Whenever you start doing drugs, you're covering up some sort of a trauma. So it comes down to mental health. So I don't have a cut and dried plan to fix it.
Sure.
But I would certainly be
We
open
recognize
to,
that as an issue.
Right.
Pam, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's an issue. I think that there have been some programs that have begun in other areas that have been semi-successful in that problem. There are some of the drug courts, or where instead of going to jail, you actually go to treatment, and then. But that has to be followed up with continued supervision, because the hardest part of treatment, honestly, is the day you get home.
Right. Yeah.
So I think
what happens then?
Yeah, there needs to be additional support put in. But I think in the end it would be cheaper for the community and so much better for the people that are involved.
And Angie, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I think she's right. I think that's exactly it. We need something of a comprehensive strategy to take care of it, not just a Band-Aid here and 72 hours in jail there and a little visit to a therapist here. We need a comprehensive strategy to take care of it.
Right.
Which would take the whole community, sorry.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish that statement.
I think it would take the whole community to do something like that, to be as comprehensive as we need to be. Because, community involvement in law enforcement is key. If we don't call in suspicious behavior, the police don't know about it until it's too late.
Right.
It takes a whole community to make a city safer. So, and it'll take a whole community to fix our problems.
Okay, good. Well, great. Well, let's move on to utilities and taxes. And I know that you have a phone tax right now, which is works for landlines, and I know that's dwindling. I think it's about half what it used to be, something like that.
Correct.
How do you replace that revenue? Angie, we'll start with you.
I have to admit that this is my weakest part right now as far as utilities and taxes. I know we're taxed and I know about utilities. I don't know how deep down things go. I don't know what taxes go where. I've been trying to do the research, but I think Pam will probably know more about that. What I do know is we're tired of getting taxed. And the phone tax is dwindling because everybody has cell phones. So,
Sure.
So yes, we need to find revenue somewhere. Now, right now, we're doing okay as far as our budget. But
The economy's strong, a lot of sales tax revenue right now.
Right,
but as you know,
right.
economies go up and down.
And the current, and to be honest, I don't know where Pam stands on this. So
Well, we'll find out from her in a second.
But the current council members are boasting about not raising taxes. That's one of the things that they're standing on. But just last week, the city manager showed a projected budget, and that is not sustainable over time. So we have to figure out a way to get revenue in. One of the things that is not just unique to the Valley is, we're a brand new state that's doing the marijuana thing. And we're not getting the revenue, the taxes and stuff, but that's, like I said, that's not unique to just the Valley. Spokane's having the same problem, and so what we need to do is, I think, we need to aggressively go to the state. First of all, make sure that all of those retail establishments and the growers and all that are actually paying their taxes.
Sure.
We don't want another Enron thing. And then where those taxes are allocated, I think we need a little more aggressive thing, and maybe redo some things there.
Okay.
As far as raising taxes, I have a hard time saying we're gonna raise this tax even though you have to have your lights on. We're gonna tax you to death. I have a problem with that. In one of the events that I was at, this one guy, he said, I know I have to pay for the streets. I know I have to pay for the sidewalks and stuff like that. And he goes, if we raised the real estate tax, he goes, then I can claim that on my federal taxes. And I thought, I've been thinking about it ever since. I'm like, that's actually kind of not a bad idea.
You mean property tax you're
Yeah,
referring
property
to?
tax. And I was like,
okay.
That's true. Then we would get the money here in the state or the city or county or whatever. And then the federal government would refund a little bit of that. And I thought, that might be something to think about. So I thought that was pretty cool idea.
Interesting.
But again, I don't know,
Yeah.
you.
Right. Well, Pam, what do you have to say about this?
Well, so one of the issues, you're correct, our telephone tax is going down. Right now, it's not a problem because the economy is in a really nice place. It's not going to stay there forever. We know that. We currently have a 50% reserve all the time. So 50% of our budget is in cash reserves. We have very little debt. And we still end up with about a $3 million excess that we're able to use for infrastructure. The reality is we are going to have to figure out a way to pave our streets. But the issue right now is we don't even know how much that's going to cost. So I have a really hard time saying we're going to raise taxes on this to pay for something we don't know the price of. So they're currently going through the city and redoing the studies to find out the depth of the pavement and to make sure what we really need and what we need per year to keep it going.
These are employees at the city there?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, and it may be that what we have is fine. Who knows? We don't know. It's like this unknown number that everybody throws around. So I think the biggest thing is finding out how much it is and then being really transparent with the public. If we can go to the public and say, if you want your roads like this, it's going to cost this much. You give us ideas on how we want to, what you want to do to pay for that. Or maybe you really don't want the roads to be like this. Maybe okay is okay with you, and that's fine. If that's what the citizens want, then we could decide the taxes that way too. I'm opposed to utility taxes in a lot of cases, probably because I'm in the city of Spokane with my business and pay an unreal utility tax down here. So I think that it affects people that maybe can't afford it. I mean, everybody's utility bill, if they have the same size house, is about the same. But some of our elderly have paid their house off, and
Sure.
they did it on purpose so that they wouldn't have to worry. But, well, if we start raising everything up, then it's going to make a big deal. In that case, maybe real estate taxes would be a good idea because the elderly can be exempt from a lot of that.
Right. Yeah. And the tax deduction is a good thought. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Well, let's move on to what your vision is. And I'll start with you, Pam. Where do you see the city in 5 years?
So hopefully, in 5 years, we'll have our bridges done. We'll
Okay.
have bridged the valley. We have Barker Road is a nightmare. I think
Yeah.
everybody who's ever been
Everybody
on Barker
talks
Road
about
knows
Barker
that.
Road.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we have to have a police officer directing traffic on Sunday for the church because it's just
Wow.
it's crazy. And the reality is the county built apartments that has added to the stress on that road. So we actually don't even get any of the fees from what's causing the problem. So trying to fix it is extremely expensive.
Right.
DOT did come up with something new, a new way for us to fix Barker that's going to cost less than half what we originally thought it was going to cost.
Okay.
We have about half of that money, so we should be pretty close on grant money.
Okay.
We have a couple of pretty large businesses, which have already been leaked in the paper, but I'm not supposed to talk about it. That are going to be in, I know. That
Coming
are gonna,
soon.
Yes,
Yeah,
coming
great.
soon to an industrial park near you. And we've actually worked with the county to put sewer and water into the rest of what can be industrial park so that these people can come in and just be ready to build and not have to
Yeah.
worry about all that. So hopefully we already have the biggest industrial park from Seattle to, I think it's Minneapolis, so I hope we have the biggest industrial park in the nation.
Okay.
And some great restaurants. Wouldn't it be nice to have great restaurants in the valley?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have several
We
right
do.
now. But
We
yeah.
do.
It'd be nice to have 30 of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, great. Well, what about you, Angie?
Well, I agree about the infrastructure, and she's made some really great points. I'm really passionate about this particular subject because right now, although things are growing, things seem to be kind of stagnant almost, as far as our growth and our thriving here.
What do you mean statement? In what way?
Well, there's still a lot of buildings that are vacant, lots that are vacant, businesses leaving, not businesses coming. And honestly, we don't need more strip malls. We don't need more big box stores that all pay minimum wage. What we need are real companies, real businesses, manufacturing businesses, things like that, that will pay a living wage so that our families don't have to work 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And in order to do that, we need to concentrate and have a good development strategy for our economic development. You know, companies look at the city where it's at and determines if they want to be in that city. And right now, the check marks that they look at aren't being checked. You know, and so there's a lot to it. There's a big long list, but
We'll give a couple examples. What will you do?
You know, my mind just went blank, and it's not on my notes because I thought,
Okay.
oh, I already know that.
Sure.
But no, I'll tell you in a minute, probably whenever it comes back around. But just like, you know, the availability. See, it's come back now. The people that live here, if they have the skills necessary to take up the job,
Okay.
they look for that. They look for property tax problems, or you know, if it's high utility taxes, if it's high taxes, they're going to go somewhere else, you know. And it's, again, the tax thing is my weakness. I had one person say that the taxes are so high because it's a state thing. I've had some people tell me that no, it's the Spokane Valley thing because I moved my business to Spokane and I'm doing better. So, you know, I really don't know. But what we really need to do is concentrate on making us, meaning the Valley, making us appealing to larger companies and manufacturers. Ideally, in my dream world, it would be manufacturing renewable resources, you know,
Okay.
like solar panels. Imagine if all of our everything was solar panel, and the money that we would save in shipping alone if we produced them right here, you know. So ideally, that would be my dream world where we're really working to not only improve the environment, but also give our families an income where they can live and thrive and raise their children, and they can go to college, and, you know,
Well, it's a great vision.
bigger, and yeah.
Well, good. Well, thank you both. Great discussion. Now we're going to go to closing statements from each of you. So, Angie, you get to go first, and go ahead and just tell us where you see and what you'd like the viewers to get your message out.
I would just like to say that I listen to other people. I'm very transparent. I'm ethical. I have visions. I think outside of the box. I'm open to any suggestions that anybody might have. I would continue to be transparent, and I would continue to communicate with our city and our residents, and I would hope that my service would be one that they would like to talk to me about what they need, and I would just be honored to help make our city better and make some positive changes and grow and thrive.
Well, thank you, Angie Beam. Pam Haley, your
Hi.
closing statement.
Yes, well, so first I want to say that the City of Spokane Valley is actually the fastest growing city in the state of Washington. If we continue at the same rate that we're going now, we'll actually be bigger than the City of Spokane in 10 years. Apparently I can't add today. Anyway, and I was appointed a year ago, so I've had a year experience on the council. I believe I have made differences. I voted no on a bridge that was going to cost us $32 million that everybody was just going to push through, and now we're finding out it's probably going to be closer to $15 million. It's a big difference. I voted no on the utility tax. I voted no on anything that I don't know the actual cost of. I think we kind of got to the point where we were kind of just pushing things through. Oh, they say we need it, so we need it. But the costs kept changing. Every time it would come in front of the council, it would be a different cost. So anyway, I would just be very honored to have your vote.
Well, great. Well, thanks both of you. Pam Haley and Angie Beam are running for the City of Spokane Valley, position number 5, City Council. And thanks for joining us, and go out and vote.